Your logline is the summary of your screenplay, the summary of your story in just one sentence. I don't want to come with definitions of log lines because no matter how you define it, no matter how you dissect it, you still come back to taking your screenplay, summarizing it into one sentence, whether it's simple sentence or compound sentence, and ensuring that that sentence, it carries your protagonist, it carries the goal, it carries the conflict, it carries the setting. Yes, this story does not lose its essence. Your logline should just be one sentence long. It should be clear, it should be concise. Okay, tell me about your story without boring me. It's your logline. Okay, all right. What are you promising in this story? Is it a good investment? You're bringing your logline first. Your logline is the first sentence of your pitch deck. No long story. And when you're writing your logline, you're focusing on your protagonist, you're focusing on the goal, that's your MDQ, you're focusing on the conflict, you're focusing on the setting, you're using an active voice, you're keeping it punchy, you're keeping it short, you're keeping it concise, you're keeping it clear. Now, how do you write a logline? This is just like a simple formula of writing the logline. You have your protagonist, the goal of your protagonist, what is stopping your protagonist from achieving that goal, and will your protagonist achieve it or not? That is what the log line is about. So this one just came in now. Now let's take, for instance, there is a doctor, and you know doctors have their own personal life. And let's take, for instance, that he's a psychiatric doctor and he works with mental patients in the prison. That's a very beautiful one. He works with mental patients in the prison, and he is going through some things in his life, and he works with mental patients in the prison. Yes, good. You have to be professional. You have to be everything. Now, one day or one patient that they brought to the prison is somebody that they claim that she's psychiatric, but he now has this closeness because he himself is a depressed person. He now has this closeness and they fall in love, and he believes her that yes, anything that they said that she did to bring her to that point was actually cooked up against her and everything, and he wants to save her. He wants to save her. Now, who is the protagonist? The doctor. What is his goal? What is his goal? To save her. To save her. That should be the external goal. Now, what will be his internal goal? So that he won't lose his license. Because in developed nations, there are certain things you don't do. You don't bring emotions into work. So there are certain mistakes you don't do at work. So if you're trying to free a prisoner and a mental health patient like that, it means that it's criminal. You get. So his external need is to save her. His internal need is not to lose his license. Now, what will be the obstacle that he will face? That is what, in fact, with the first two things I've said, yeah, we've already written the log line. So will he save her or not? That's the result. Remember in the previous class where we talk about different types of endings, bitter endings, sweet endings, bittersweet endings, and semi-sweet endings. You understand? So now I'm going to show you the log lines of very popular Nigerian movies, so that you see it and use it to craft the log line of that's your story, that's your idea. Just watch. If we say your log line should be one sentence, your synopsis should be a page. It doesn't exceed a page. But also for some persons, depending on probably the fonts, size or the font type. It can be like 1 page and 1/4, something like that, but it doesn't, like the industry standard is that it doesn't exceed a page. You write your synopsis in prose form, you write it in such a way. In fact, it's a marketing tool. So if you meet an investor and you pitch an idea to the investor, you pitch your log line to the investor, and the investor say, do you have a synopsis? There are some persons, some producers that you will want to like talk to, and the person will tell you, do you have a synopsis? Yes, you will put the conflict, you will put the protagonist, you make the story not to lose the essence. But remember that avoid spoilers. Don't put spoilers there, because there is something about humans. You may pitch a story to them, give them a synopsis, because you have given too much information in that synopsis. They can get somebody to write it at a cheaper rate. So that is why some persons, when they come with okay competitions and everything, will be like, I beg. Because there are some persons that have gone through those competitions, and at the end of the day, they see their idea on screen. No acknowledgements to them, no payments to them. So you just have to be very, very, very careful to avoid spoilers, to avoid the myths of the story. Yes, you write the essence of the story, but avoid the myths, avoid the heavy things, so that somebody will not say, okay, since the story is like this, okay, you don't talk this one, you talk this one, talk this one, and the protagonist is supposed to be this. Period. They go and write it. There are people that are as dubious as that, but you just have to watch out. You have to know how to craft a good synopsis. So I'm going to show you what some synopses look like. So just watch the screen, see examples of synopsis, and I'm also going to drop it in our Telegram group. So if you have been paid, if you have been contracted, if you have been commissioned to write a story, that is when you write the treatment. The treatments can be from 5 pages up. Some people say 3 pages. Some people will tell you that a treatment is actually scene by scene happenings in a story. No, that one will take like 50 pages. No. So, but a treatment is between 5, at most 10 pages. At most, yes, depending on the story, depending on the type of story that you're writing, whether it's a web series, whether it's a TV series, whether it's a rom-com, whether it's a feature film, depending. Cinema blockbuster, you're writing a treatment for a cinema blockbuster, depending on what you're writing about, from 5 pages. If you can keep it down to 3 pages, very good. But from 5 pages, that's what your treatment. Now, what is the treatment of the story? For the treatment, you're establishing the primary environment of the story. Is your protagonist living somewhere before and going another place to achieve his goal? You are doing that. You are doing that to the treatment. You're establishing the time period. Yes, this is where you actually acknowledge the time period. You're establishing the tone of the story. You're introducing your main characters, the people that are important to the story. You're introducing your antagonists. You're introducing anyone that you want to introduce. You're putting it in the treatment. If there is any relevant backstory, you're providing it. You are also illustrating a routine or way of life for your protagonist. You're showing how his routine is disrupted, and you're showing how he is going to get his and you're showing how he or she is going to get their goal. That is just the treatment. So as practical as it will be, I would show you what a treatment looks like, and I'll also drop it in the Telegram group, so you can go to the Telegram group, download it, and see what a treatment looks like. Assignment for this class will be write a log line, a synopsis, and a treatment for your story idea. Now, the why I want you to join the Telegram group is to have a community, talk to each other, discuss with each other, because when you say you are writing a story, it is very good for you to actually brainstorm. And that is why even good and established screenwriters, they have what we call script conference. When they want to brainstorm on an idea, they come together. Sometimes the script conference can take like 1 or 2 weeks, or at the just throughout the duration of the project, they will still come together. You need brainstorming. You need to see different perspectives. There is something that someone would say that would spark a light bulb in your head. So it is very, very good. I would encourage you, join the Telegram group, connect with fellow writers, and do your assignments.